Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Bad Girl Shit. I am your host, Aaliyah.
I am also your host, Cece Ella. And, welcome where we talk about all things pop culture, from movies to television to theater to everything else, but from two black women from two different walks of life. And today, first things first, we are literally 1 week before the holiday season, before Christmas comes around. How you feeling, Aaliyah?
Well, I don't really celebrate, so I'm just chilling.
Ooh. Well, did not know that.
What you doing?
Yeah,
I said, what are you doing?
Probably nothing and something at the same time. We're gonna see what happens.
It'd be like that
because finances have not been doing well. Which again to that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you want us to talk about on the podcast and everything. We just released the first episode on my YouTube page, which is Queen Ceciella. So go check that out when you get a chance. And maybe one of these days we'll actually start a Patreon so we can get some coins from this, because we don't work for free, baby. We do not work for free. This is not slavery. So so I also want to, do this real quick, a quick little disclaimer. If we make any false information or, some fact statements, let us know in the comments and be nice about it. Because there were some things that we said in our last episode about we meant to mention the Golden Globe Awards and everything else in between that's going on with Wicked and Sinners and K-pop Demon Hunters. But yes, if we do end up saying some misinformation, let us know. And also, too, I want to also make a statement about the fact that on this podcast, we will be talking about a lot of Tubi movies, because unfortunately, I'll be diving deep into that garbage. And
she forces me in. She forces me in. Y'all help me. Help me. Free me from the shackles of this shit.
She don't mean that. She doesn't mean that.
I do. I'm a hostage.
She doesn't mean it for real. Shut the fuck up. But what we do want to say is that when we're talking about these movies, good, bad, or indifferent, we are not trying to insult the filmmakers, the writers, and the creators of these. You might catch a stray, but hey. But also, we are not insulting too much Tubi as a platform. What we are saying is just like the kind of difficulties that we see a lot in these movies, and really trying to just kind of pick apart of some of the quote anti-blackness, some of the quote quality, and just like the overall parts of these movies that kind of really mess with us. We are not raccoons. We are not being haterations in the dancery, and we're not just a bunch of jealous Nancy's that don't want to see black people have fun. Again, I love it when black people do silly shit, but there's a line, and some of y'all have crossed it. And speaking of crossing lines, today's topic is we're doing this because this was disturbing my soul. This was indeed disturbing my soul. I want to start off by saying, even though I've said a lot already, that originally we were going to talk about Mean Girls, the musical.
Both the movie and the Broadway one.
Yes, we were going to do that. That was going to be our next episode. But because this was on my mind, and we watched it last week,
we're talking about Angel and Demon. Lord help us. Sorry about that.
Okay, thank you. Before we get into it, so Angel and Demon is a adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. For the two of you listening that do not understand or don't know Romeo and Juliet is, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Read a book or, watch the many adaptations, but I'll give you a little bit. It's about two people named Romeo and Juliet that basically they are star-crossed lovers because they family do not like each other, and they end up falling in love, but to what detriment? And there are many versions of the story, like we said before. Aaliyah, what was your introduction to Romeo and Juliet, if you don't mind?
It's a toss-up because I have the very shaky iterations of Boy Meets World that comes to mind because I watched that show on YouTube for free when I was very young. Or the one that I probably would remember more is Romeo and Juliet, the animated movie about garden gnomes.
With Elton John doing the songs for that.
Yeah, he ate that shit up. I can't even say anything. He ate with that. Not you dying. Introduction. Crazy. What was your introduction?
The coughing was real, but yeah, that's an introduction. For me, like I said, I'm a little bit older, so I had to read this in high school. And we had to read it in high school. And on top of that, too, the first time I got introduced to it was most likely that one episode of The Proud Family. And on top of that, the movie that I got introduced to was the original 60s version, which, I believe the actress that was in there that played Juliet had passed away in 2023.
2024.
I'm not mistaken. 2024.
Like last year. So, like the 27th of December. Like, oh, shit. Is this really... Damn. She died 10 days from now. Last year.
Damn. Like, that's... it's just crazy how, like, all the years... the 2020s have been feeling like everything's just merged together, for real. Everything's just squashed together. We don't even know.
That's so valid.
Yeah, it just feels like that. But yeah, so those were the two, like, kind of my introduction to Romeo and Juliet. And, it's... And my thoughts on it, on the story as a whole, I just kind of have the thought that it's a story that's more about young love than it is about, like, actually falling in love. And, and for those of us that, said, if you feel it as a tragedy, that's good for you. If you that was probably, like, your biggest tragedy that they ever read or saw. And for some of us, we just don't care. But, it's been added, like we said before, it's been adapted into many, many different forms. I think the most popular one is West Side Story, both the original movie musical, the one on Broadway, and also the one that got reimagined by Steven Spielberg in 2022 with Miss Rachel Zegler, our girly.
Imagine, Cece. Imagine one day we actually get to talk to Rachel Zegler. I would cry, actually. I think I would have a breakdown.
No, imagine one day we get to talk to her and then Halle Bailey at the same time. I would be like...
Her, Halle Bailey, and Cynthia Erivo. Imagine. Cece, I will actually have a breakdown.
I would not be well that day. I would just be like, I'm not even here. My soul ascended somewhere else. So you're just talking to a husk of a human.
No, we would... First of all, we need to replace some of these interviewers in Hollywood right now. Let me do it. Let me ask these people these questions. Because I can't keep dealing with these... First of all, these unhinged, racist people who come up to black people and be like, so, Cynthia Erivo, you're just so tough and strong. Like, girl, she's 5'1". Leave her alone. And she did. She did clock it. But like, I need some of these interviewers to stop. Because y'all just ain't doing it.
I mean, like, I would interview... Here's the gag. So I was, like, when I was in high school, I was trying to study and, like, go to school to become a...
journalist?
To become a journalist. That was, like, originally, like, what I wanted to do before I realized, wait a minute. No, I don't. But, so I wouldn't... but I have, like, done, like, interviews for, like, a bunch of different stuff and been like, I'm pretty good at this. And also, I ask, like, the deep, hard questions. Like, I get in there. You couldn't tell me in high school that I wasn't going to replace Barbara Walters. You couldn't tell me that. You could not tell me that. But anyway, we're stalling here because we really don't want to talk about Angel and Demon.
I didn't like it.
Angel and Demon. And again, I've been holding on this one because we watched this last week. But unfortunately, we couldn't talk about it last week because I was sick as a dog.
No, my girl was dying, y'all.
Yeah, I was dying. I was sick. I literally watched the movie and I couldn't even talk. I just had to watch and just, like, kind of take mental notes. kind of take mental notes. That's how fucking bad. That's how sick I was. But now I have returned. As you can see, I am still here, and I'm here to speak my piece and speak my time on this godforsaken movie. So the movie Angel and Demon is a adaptation of Romeo and Juliet. According to the director and writer Nina Stacks with a Z, it's her 9th Tubi movie. And apparently she just thought of calling it a ghetto version of Romeo and Juliet, or if Romeo was a quote unquote YN.
I can't. Okay, first of all, I think one of the best things that Romeo and Juliet, like the best thing to ever happen in Romeo and Juliet, every single time, is death. There has to be, no, I'm not saying this to be like morbid, right? I'm not saying this like because I'm Wednesday Addams, right? I'm saying this because if the story truly is a tragedy, right? And not like this heartwarming true tale of romance. If it is the tragedy that it needs to be respected, it needs to involve death. Or if not, like, the stakes need to be deadly, right? These two people need to be willing to die for one another, or to die to be with one another. That needs to be where the bar is at for Romeo and Juliet. That is the one thing that they get right. Because Romeo and Juliet really and truly is not a story about love. It is a story about teen freaking horniness that lasted 3 days and ended with 2 teenagers committing suicide because they were stupid. Like, that's it. That's what Romeo and Juliet needs in order for it to be the tragic tale that it is. And this story, while it did involve violence and death, it's never at the right times, it's never in the right places, and the end product
it's not with the proper characters.
Exactly. The end product is always just so empty. There's nothing to it. Like, I don't feel anything. Well, I do feel something because I was mad as hell when the uncle died, but
you were actually mad about that?
I was mad when the uncle and when the friend, Demon's friend, died.
Really? Oh wow, maybe I just don't.
Because they built up the stakes for it. Like, you could you could feel the tension at that point in time because it was an uncle like, stay the hell, I know you ain't shit. Stay the hell away from my niece. Right? I felt that. I felt like the protectiveness. I felt the familial love in that moment. And it upset me when this person who is right, like, that's my biggest issue with this movie. I don't like when people who are correct get punished for being correct.
Well, yeah, because, like, the movie doesn't want to, like, center on it. Because if it was, then, it would be an actual movie to talk about and shit like that. Okay, so we're going to kind of break down a little bit of the plot. So the plot of it, again, is semi like Romeo and Juliet. I say semi because there's a lot of changes in this. Obviously, one of the things that it's modern day, and there's no white people in it. Another one thing is that it takes place in Atlanta. I can tell because I hear the fucking accent. And I'm like, oh, dear God, they sound like... I hear that accent again.
Not my damn
They
dog.
got the Jason... Sorry. Another thing is that the fact that Juliana, aka our Angel, because that's her nickname in this one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, Chloe from Bratz.
No, don't bring Bratz into this because I actually love Bratz.
I know, I love Bratz too. I just was like I just don't understand, like, just, like when you got a friend that's just like, oh, hi, my name is Sarah Lou, but you can just call me
Chantal. Like, what?
Like, just, what is that nickname? Like, where does that come from?
No, because first of all, in Bratz, they explain where the nicknames come from, right?
Yeah, I know, yeah. Because Chloe is literally like, she's a sweetheart in a way.
Right? Like, they explain where the nickname comes from. For this damn movie, Angel is just Angel because she's Angel. It's not because she's genuinely good. It's not because she's sweet. There are no real reasons for her to be called this shit. But somehow, some way, she's just, oh, this is Angel. Girl, why?
My name is Julian, but everybody call me Angel.
Girl,
And then
why?
I just and then she just turned 18 years old. Keyword just turned 18 and is still in high school and everything. And basically after having a party with her family, her friend, who I totally forgot her name, so we gonna call her Rosalind for reasons. She convinces her to go to a quote unquote blackout party at a club, which I'm pretty sure, even though she's 18, they would not let her.
You could not get in there. No, there's no real reason. Unless this was a high school party, they're not letting you in.
Yeah, like you're not getting in, whatever. And then of course we meet Demon as well, who is part of the mob gang. I think that's what the name it is. I could be wrong, but and they also, because the gang has beef with the police. That's already a problem already, because it's like, you act like we already don't have beef with the police when we're not involved in gang activity. You want to add to this shit? Alright, at least like with West Side Story, they make it to where, like, it's two opposing fucking gangs. No cops involved. Like, just, or, again, two families that can't stand each other. Hell, I've even seen ones where they add the Hatfield and McCoys and that shit. Which I think is also very hilarious. I've seen that, but my thing is just, like, you gonna do it with the cops that already have, like, a leg up to do this shit. That doesn't make whatever. And Demon is given that name because apparently he kills a lot of people, but he's supposed to be our bad boy with a heart of gold, which I don't want you to harp on Juliet's character for too long, because Demon has issues too. Not for the fact that he's just a YN nigga, but the fact that, like, the movie's trying to frame that he is a bad boy, a heart of gold. And guess what? We've seen that before. We've seen the whole... But hey, you could have made it to where, like, a lot of these bad boys full of heart of golds, they usually have this complex about them when they're like, oh, they don't kill someone. Or, like, they'll never torture anybody. Or they actually, have stuff they want to do. And the thing is, too, much like how you said with Juliet, how they try to make her this very sweet and smart girl, but don't really follow through on it, they do the same shit with Romeo, because he's talking about being a part of crypto and stuff like that. He says he want to do something better of, like, making money without having to rob people and shit like that. And again, they show that he cares for his dad, who was crippled from the waist down because of and kind of insane because of the fact that, something happened to him when he was his age and through the same mob and whatnot. But then you have him kill motherfuckers for literally no other reason. In the words of Miss Cardi B, what was the reason? What was the reason, bitch?
First of all, a bad boy with a heart of gold is very seldom done well in, from what I've seen, right? I rarely see the bad boy with a heart of gold thing. I rarely see it done correctly. I'm thinking, like, characters like Edward Cullen is supposed to be a bad boy with a heart of gold. I'm seeing, like, those shitty after movies. That's fair. But know that this vampire who went on an entire, like, Dexter level murder stint in the early 20s, not his early 20s, the early 1920s, he went on a whole, like, oh, I kill people, but only people who deserve it, and I have no mercy, and I don't regret to the shit that I did, and I'm just super controlled. Like, he's supposed to be a bad boy with a heart of gold, right? And, like, did you ever watch those, like, the After movies?
No.
Okay. Well, I feel like the After movies is what inspired this movie, because it's like, oh, this bad boy, motorcycle riding, like, tattooed British bad boy with this, like, good girl. She's a virgin and she's just so soft and sweet and young, and they meet under these weird circumstances and they have a very turbulent, toxic relationship. That's what this is giving, but for white people. But he is supposed to be a bad boy with a heart of gold, but he's not. The last time I saw an actually decent bad boy with a heart of gold, it was Sean Hunter in Boy Meets World. Because that man had First of all, that man could not be happy for shit. They kept fucking with him every damn episode. He was meant to suffer, right? But when the chips were down, there's a girl in his class whose dad hits her. You know what he said? You could come stay with me for as long as you need to. He was a genuine bad boy with a heart of gold. He had morals.
Yeah, that's what I think. But I also think about, back to, our actual... There's a reason why... And my boy, Pillboy, shout out to Pillboy, his YouTube channel was talking about, how the Tubi movies are kind of becoming, the bad parts of Black exploitation movies and whatnot. And he brought up, a good point of why, we call Tubi movies and not hood movies. Because hood movies actually have something to say about, where we grew up and, actually have something to say about really the Black experience and whatnot. And here, it's I've seen a lot of hood movies that actually do have, the bad boy with a heart of gold, or the bad boy that just, he doesn't want to kill. I'm just trying to survive. And here, I'm just trying to survive. And I understand it. I get it 100. Again, I've seen Baby Boy. I've seen Menace to Society. I've seen all these movies that understand where that comes from. And I feel like they could have did this story with his character as a character that's just trying to survive, as opposed to just doing it because he can, and then just leaving it. Well, he's a bad boy with a heart of gold because, he cares for his dad and stuff like that, and he's he protects Angel and whatnot. And it's
no, because even if you did have him kill, what you could have easily done to make it so that he's a bad boy with a heart of gold, he never wanted to, and he feels immense guilt for being put in a position where he had to kill somebody. There are some easy fixes for this shit, but the creators oh no, having him be a total complete badass gangbanger to the point where his nickname is Demon.
Nah, and then on top of that too, it's just the fact, just she's trying to write. I feel because you said before about what Romeo and Juliet, to me, I said, Romeo and Juliet, there are times where I also think it's a story about really understanding where it comes from, young love and shit, because we all remember when we was in love at one point in life, for those of us that have a soul. I lost mine a long time ago, but when you first fall in love with somebody, you feel that bliss, you feel that good. It's oh my god, this feeling must... And I'm not talking about the first, when you first get in a relationship. I'm talking the first time you felt it. The first time the inside out emotions inside of you felt that for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking, it feels amazing. It feels awesome. It must feel so good. It must last forever. It needs to last forever. And then, the high comes down. And then you got to deal with the real shit that comes with a relationship, which eventually does end in tragedy, because you will end up either breaking up or something worse happens. You never know. And I think that's kind of the whole thing with that. And this movie doesn't really understand what that is, because you're too busy. And also too, she's trying to write she's either trying to write a tragedy or writing a toxic love story, which you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Some of our favorite ships are toxic ass relationships that should not be together, but for some reason we want to see them be together, even though they are toxic for each other. JD and Veronica.
Louis, you were fighting for your life not to say Heather.
I don't watch Vampire Diaries. I just know that ship. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's...
I don't believe...
Which one is that? That's Damon and Elena. I think those are their names.
Okay, Vampire. I'm thinking Interview with a Vampire. My bad. It's all the vampire shit. I'm so sorry. Outside of Simmons, I can't tell one from the other. My bad. I'm sorry. But yeah, but it's just, she wants to have her cake and eat it too, which is either having both a toxic love story and a tragedy. And it's you can't have that, or at the very least, one has to end with the other.
Especially when sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But especially when, again, I think the best aspect and what truly makes Romeo and Juliet a tragedy is because at the end of the day, no one had to die. That's the thing that sucks about it. After all of this pining and yearning and teen angst shit, at the end of the day, if you really think about it, no one had to die.
Correct. Nobody had to die. Nobody.
And that's how you make it a tragic story. That's how you make it I think that's there's a line, right? Like if you had a Venn diagram of like toxic romances and tragic romances, like they can intersect in that way if like the consequences of the relationship did not need to happen. Like in a toxic relationship, right? Let's say the toxic relationship ends with homeboy getting into a car accident because whatever reason, right? And he ended up he ended up dying because he got into that car accident. And the reason he got into that car accident was because he was going to get his girl because he can't spend 2 minutes without her being out of his sight, right? That
Right.
toxic relationship is the reason he ended up in that car. But it didn't he didn't have to die. Like, shit. The relationship was toxic. But the consequences didn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't have to happen.
Also, like, this movie is way too long of a runtime for a very, like, at the very least, like, it's like you can get an hour and 25 out of this. This is way too fucking long. I'm not joking when I say this movie was 2 hours long. And my friend Destiny from As Told by Destiny, go check out her channel after you finish watching this podcast. I put her on to this movie. She literally like had to turn it off after he sent the text, after you sent that text, which apparently the creator, writer, director, and whatever, she like screenshot that and she said, you know them YNs be going crazy with the text messages when it's the line when he says, I can still taste you. Literally, my friend Destiny shut that shit off. Literally, like she said, she shut that shit off immediately. That scene came after that scene.
I wanted to leave, but you wouldn't let me.
Stop saying that I'm kidnapping you.
No, because the way I actually zoned out, I was completely out of it. I was staring at my ceiling, and I heard that shit.
Not the SpongeBob.
Like, I looked at my screen for a fraction of a second, and I'm like, did he really just say that? Can I leave? And you're like, no, I'm not watching this by myself.
You're not watching this by myself, and I'm saying I can't talk. You're sitting through this with me. I mean,
like, I'm not doing this alone. I was like, please.
Right, and I can't talk. Yeah, yeah. There's also like a lot of like inconsistencies wise in terms of like, you know, on a filmmaker's perspective. Like, if I was to give this a score, it would be on the lower end, like maybe like a 4 or a 3, mainly because like, for one thing, so there's a scene where like after Angel, there's a confrontation that happens that's not in the original book, but whatever, because honestly, outside of like I literally like in between the movie, because I was trying to piece together who characters are who outside. Like, okay, we already know who our Romeo and Juliet is, but I was trying to piece together who's Mercutio, who's Benvolio, who's there's a lot of characters missing from this, which I'm like, they kind of also make up the majority, because then you kind of get to know them too. Two of my favorite characters are, I had to try to look and point them out, which is Tybalt and Mercutio. Now, for those of you motherfuckers that ain't read Romeo and Juliet for a while or didn't pay attention in high school, let me break it down for you. So Mercutio is one of Romeo's best friends, and Tybalt is basically Juliet's cousin, but also he's like what I like to call if Kendrick Lamar was a hater in the 1400s, because in every version of Romeo and Juliet, whether on stage or in movies, Tybalt is a number one hater of the Montagues. On some, I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk, I hate the way that you dress, I hate the way that you say nigga, everything. That's how much, when Tybalt said it's on site, it's on site. How much does Tybalt hate them, Okay, can y'all hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, technical difficulties, folks. So, yeah, like, Tybalt is a number one hater. Like, that man's a hater. And the amount of hateration dancery that he has is almost fucking hilarious.
Almost.
In the entire play. I mean, it is, because, like, this nigga Tybalt, literally, when they're at the function, and Romeo and his homies sneak in, and he's like, I see a Montague, I'm about to go stab a hoe. And then, literally, Juliet's dad is like, hey, calm down. They ain't causing no problems. Chill, my boy. Chill. Just chill.
It's like, I don't believe it is that deep, my brother. I don't think it's that serious.
Thou does not think it's thy deepest. Like, just... Like, yeah. And then, like, he come up to, like, he's just a hater. He's like, if we just dislike Kendrick Lamar, that's the level of hateration he's on. And Mercutio is the funniest motherfucker in the entire play. He's Romeo's other best friend next to Benvolio, who I believe is Romeo's cousin. And he is, like, he's cracking one-liners at all times. And also, he may or may not, but most likely might be he's a little, he's a little saucy, he's a little sassy boy, and whatnot. But he's also very, very funny. And constantly, like, joking both at Romeo's expense, but also, just giggling and laughing around and shit. And also, it might kind of be implied that he has a crush on Romeo. A lot of versions heavily imply that shit. My problem is, it's just like, the fact that with this movie, it wasn't until, like, the first time when, I guess our Tybalt in this, Tyrese, has said, stay away from my cousin. I was like, oh, he's supposed to be Tybalt. And he doesn't do anything. Which even then, like I said, this movie has a consistency problem, because I was like, because we found out, like, later in the movie that he was spying on Juliet, and I'm like, what the fuck was he doing this?
Don't you have hobbies? Go outside.
No, not even that. It's just like, because again, they told him early on, like, hey, like, if you act up one more time, it's your badge and shit and everything. But then, like, they're supposed to be like, oh yeah, he's spying on him, but we only saw that once, and I'm like, what was this? What in the hell was this? Sir? Same thing with Mercutio after I was like, oh, the one with the black bandana and the long ass, whatever braids those were. And everything that was saying, and you talking about Crisco type shit, because he doesn't understand what crypto is. And I'm like, I hate how y'all keep making niggas like this stupid. It's like y'all want the white man to make fun of us on purpose. I'm so tired. Please stop that shit. Please. For the love of all that is good in this life. There's also just, like, some inconsistencies. Like, for example, so like I was saying before, after our demon ends up shooting Angel's ex-boyfriend, who she's not into anymore, but she shoots him in the leg. She ends up she sneaks away from his house, which I don't know how she got there because she doesn't drive.
Don't question it.
From his house. Huh?
I said don't question it.
From his house to go to the hospital and kind of like, say, are you all right? Are you okay? Because like you say, they really try to make her like this very like nice person, but also on the top of it, I'm just like, no, babe, you're just kind of stupid. It's giving what's her name from The Danish Deception. It's giving that. And she ends up going there, and then the boyfriend, I'm gonna just call him Rich Homie Quan. He is acting like a rich home. He literally got him wearing like the tie and the sweater across his shoulders in the first shot, and I'm like, oh, I ain't finna lie. I thought he wasn't. I thought I was gonna say, oh, that man, ninja gay. But then I was like, oh no, never mind. My bad. But then he rightfully kind of figures out, wait, you're just trying to get me not to snitch on your little boyfriend and whatnot. And then Demon shows up in the hospital, which I'm like, what the hell? Wait a minute. She didn't call him. You snuck away. How did he find out where you were?
It's giving controlling.
It's giving stalker activity. But also, too, what was the plan? That was not the plan. I'm confused. I'm a little confused. So, yeah, this movie, and also too, like I said, this movie has a 2-hour runtime, but they do not know how to use that 2 hours. It doesn't feel too much where it slogs, What it is, like, I was checking the time, like, how long are we gonna get to before they die? Which, spoiler alert, for those of y'all that didn't see this movie, they don't actually die at the end. Well,
stupid.
Demon ends up getting shot by Rich Homie Quan. I know, crazy, right? Oh my god. And it ends up with him getting shot, but still surviving, but being taken to the hospital, but also being cuffed up. And then basically Angel ends up getting into college, but then has a kid because they never told us that she was pregnant with that man's child, I guess. Oh, by the way, the framing device for this movie is the fact that she's telling this story on a radio show. Like on one of those radio shows where, like, you know, you'd be like, ooh, girl, tell us your most steamiest and crazy story yet. That type of thing, which I'm like, do they still do that? Is that a thing?
Most likely not, no.
I know radio isn't like that, and I'm not gonna disclose when I did it. But I was on a radio show where they did do, you know, giving advice about love and shit. I ain't gonna disclose when I did it, but it did happen. So I know they do that, but they still doing that. I didn't know the Sweat Hotel was still open. 105.9 Kiss FM, the Sweat. Only my Detroit folk is gonna get that.
You're insane. I hope you know that.
And also, only the old head that's listening to this, the one old head that's listening to this damn podcast. You want to know something that made me feel old as fuck? That, like, attacked me age-wise today? I was scrolling on Instagram, and I was just, you know, looking at videos, and this one guy had found the sound to the Tom Joyner Morning Show, and I felt elderly. And the comments were all saying the indicator that you knew you was late for school or you was gonna miss the bus. I felt elderly in that moment. And then I remind myself, you're only 28, and I know 2 years to 30. We was talking about this movie, my bad. I'm sorry. But yeah, I was just reminded of that. But yeah, and also too, I can also tell that they did not have no schmex coordinator on this thing, because the way that Demon kisses in this, I'm like, nah, we gotta regulate. Nah. I'm not even a licensed. Can you get a license? I think you can.
Maybe.
I'm saying that as someone who has, like, you know, been a director, you know, a director of a play, you know, and had to have both had to be intimacy coordinated and had to have an intimacy coordinator. I think you do have to have, like, a certain certification to do that. I think you do.
I do think so.
Like, but, like, I could tell, like, the way he was kissing her in the car, I'm like, okay, nah. We getting an intimacy coordinator on deck. Ain't one on deck right now. We need that, because the way he kissing her should not be. No, we're not doing that. Respectfully, no. Like, I just felt, I said, nigga, put your tongue back in your mouth. No, thank you.
Unless they're dating in real life, but then even still, like, why?
Even then, you still have a form of coordination. This is also a side tangent. So apparently, Ashley Tisdale was on somebody's podcast, and she was talking about her time on Disney Channel, particularly on Sweet Life. And she talked about the time when Zac Efron had guest starred, right? And at the time, Zac, coming off a High School Musical, he was getting different gigs for different TV shows and whatnot. So he wasn't too used to how they do stuff on Disney Channel. So the scene, if you remember the episode, remember when he was going out with London, and London had to pretend to be smart. In that episode, when they end up making out and he dipped her, she was shocked because she said, "We don't kiss like that on Disney. What's wrong with you?" Because I guess he was used to, like, you know, kissing in soap operas or something like that. I don't know.
I don't know what he would have been in from that point when he was, like, gaining in popularity on Disney.
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, what we don't know, we don't need to know. You know?
I think the only one I could think of is like Hairspray.
What we don't know is what we don't need to know.
Okay,
That's
girl.
what it is. Because he could have been like, cameo on some like, soap opera, and we'd be like, you probably watch that and pass and be like, I know that ain't who I think it is. Like, that's what happened when I found out who Tinashe really was, and I was like, oh my God. My God. Girl, thank God you got out of that situation, because, ooh. But yeah, back to this. So yeah, the movie, it just was just, I just kind of, and also it just kind of feels yuck in that this person, like when I first put this out on the Discord about this movie, somebody had said, I feel like they're not going to really understand the real, like, understanding of what Romeo and Juliet actually is about. But I am intrigued to see what's going to happen. And that's what this kind of is. I don't think this person really understood what the real story was about. I think they just wanted to write some toxic hood shit, which, again, going back to the conversation that we had about the state of, like, Black Tubi movies, a lot of them just kind of want to write this shit, I feel like, as a type of narrative, to kind of spread this sort of a narrative of the fact that, like, yeah, women are like this. Women are always, like, they want the toxic man. They want this shit or something like that. Because, again, there was another movie that I watched several months ago this year called High Value Man, but it was lackluster, literally a nothing burger of a movie that literally had kind of nothing to do, but there was a scene where the girl who left the guy who seemed like had nothing going for him was dating a guy that had a lot of money, and basically, long story short, he ended up SAing her with another man, and she ended up running back to him.
Ew.
And I kind of just sit there and I'm like, y'all really be writing these things and not, like, consulting like, it's the misogynoir, it's the misogyny, and it's this kind of, like, this, again, goes back to anti-blackness about women and not understanding where they're coming from in the dating world. And basically trying to, like, say this whole thing about, like, oh, well, women just do this and that, and that's why they act like that, and they don't deserve, and they're punished for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it just feels like, I'm not, and again, this is coming from a place where I don't believe that Tubi is I think in terms of, like, the platform, I think they platform this shit because, again, it did get bought out by both Warner Brothers and Fox. And Fox, is not that kind to us as people of color, or, just as African Americans in general. And they're promoting all these films to kind of push an agenda about what they think about us. And it's not, like, a full-on reflection. Because God forbid we have movies that actually, not only show a little bit of our struggle, but really, show, like, the more positive light of that. And like I said, I'm not saying that you have to, like, do all this happy-go-lucky shit all the time. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that there's a way to show Black pain without, like, basically, throwing Black women under the bus. And also, essentially, Black men, too.
I think it's the real issue. Because I even said this after we were done watching this movie. I'm like, when are we gonna let go of the whole Black men in gangs and Black women just being so quick and, like, willing to protect them, to nurture them, to like when are we gonna let go of that archetype of the Black girl being so caring and so, like, willing to see the good in everybody, that she's literally taking in this criminal, this person who's, like, tried killing people in front of her. Like, when are we gonna let go of that trope? When are we gonna let go of the trope of just Black men in gangs, and they're either in a gang or they're a cop? Like, when are we gonna let go of that?
I think when we unpack our misogynoir, both from Black men and Black women, unpack the misogyny as well, and on both sides, and also when we actually have, like, women that are willing to actually, like, tell their story that doesn't have to do with that. It's funny. I was saying this before that I actually watched The Preacher's Wife for the first time the other night, and the whole thing. This movie is really trying to sell us on the chemistry between the two actors, and for me, they sound like cardboard. They sound like literally like cardboard. They don't sound. They literally sound like they're reading their lines and they press record. But when I saw Denzel and Whitney Houston, like, really acting off each other and playing off each other, hell, even between, like, Courtney B. Vance and their relationship, you kind of feel the strain of their relationship. And you see how it makes Julia feel when she's around Dudley, which is Denzel Washington's character. But that's because, like, these are actually, like, seasoned actors that know what they're doing. Or at the very least, I believe that, like, anybody can get their start in acting, but it takes a good actor that is willing, like, understand and really, like, put in the work with it, and a good director that knows what they're doing. And quite frankly, now I have not seen the rest of what Nina Sachs has put out. Maybe we might watch another one of her films.
No.
I want to give a fair shake.
No. You doing that by yourself.
You're not doing this without me, love.
I will not be participating in any more of that.
I'm sorry, what?
I will not be participating in any more of that. No.
Either way, now maybe I need to watch something else of her caliber, but I don't think she really understands where that chemistry comes from. Because I just watched, like, I remember the scenes that she was posting, and I just sat to myself, I was like, I don't feel any chemistry between the two. I feel nothing. I don't feel them falling in love. I don't even think he really actually cares about her, for real.
Ooh.
Like, I'll keep it a buck, a B with 100 in between. I don't even think that his character really cares about her. There are times where I'm just sitting here and I'm like, why? Outside of him giving her a chain in the movie or whatever, what else do you have to show and everything? Like, literally, she gives it up and says, like, I'm trying to protect you, you mine and everything. You're mine. And I'm like, if you said that to me, I would literally walk out the door. If you said, because I'm owned by nobody. You don't own me. Like, what is that? And then she ends up giving him the cookie. And I'm like, and I don't know. I'm in a lot of these debate talk spaces a lot and everything, and I hear a lot of these men, so I can't really say that these men don't exist. Yes, they do, unfortunately, that have this very toxic viewpoint about women and what they think women need or deserve and whatnot, and why they think that they're protectors of women and shit like that and everything. And it's just kind of like, y'all get it from this shit. And it's like, no. There has to be, like, something better to actually, like, show that and everything. And I legitimately think that this woman, Nina, doesn't really understand that. And it's kind of sad. And I feel like if she did more research on both the story of Romeo and Juliet, I think if, like, I don't want to, like, too discredit her, but there is kind of, like, I am curious, like, how long it took her to actually make this movie. Because I've been on sets of a lot of, like, Detroit movies that have been made here in Detroit, and them saying that they, they're kind of just rushing these out. I was on set this summer for a movie that I don't know when it's coming out, that I have, like, a little cameo in. And I remember got a chance to actually talk to the writer, and he said, oh, yeah, like, this is my first time writing and everything. I've been, like, wanting to write for a minute. And then he was also saying, like, well, yeah, it took us, like, maybe about, like, 4 weeks to get this done. I wish it was, like, a little bit longer, so we have a little bit more time. And I'm like, then make more time. Why are you... Well, we got to rush it out now and move on to next. And I'm like,
no, you don't. You don't got to.
Right. You don't. And I just don't... I don't get that. I don't understand that. So I just kind of think that just... like I said in the beginning of this recording, I said that, like, there has to be, like, a point, like you said before, where we get tired of showing, like, the same thing over and over again, and thinking that reflects our people and who we are. And again, I'm not coming off as just saying, well, like, you should be more like this, or do well like this. Again, you're creative, you can do whatever you want, and you don't have the restraints of Hollywood to tell you what you can't do. But you have to realize where this is coming from and what the stereotypes it's perpetuating, and just really work with that. And I wish that a lot more of these directors could see that. And I think that once you kind of see that and see how, like, you know, Warner and they're using it and promoting these films and using y'all to that extent and exploiting it, and once you turn it back on its head, I think that's how, you know, we get better quality stuff.
I'll be right back.
Okay, so final score for the movie. I need to actually start looking up the Filmway scores and everything for these so that I can actually, you know, be more accurate with it. Let me just pull up my Filmway account really quickly, see if I can get this right for once. Because I know there's like more categories, but I know there's more categories, but yeah, what would you rate this movie?
Okay, so the acting was not great, for one. So that I'll give it like a 2 or a 3.
I'm mad that you said earlier that you actually like kind of felt the death between Tyrese and also his homeboy, whatever his name was that started with an M. Because I'm like,
it was like Merc or something.
Yeah, Merc. I felt nothing when they died. I was like, I felt absolutely nothing. It was just yeah. But so you would give it like a what would you say?
Grand total, I'll be generous and give the movie a 4. Cause like there were moments where like the music was louder than the conversation. Like we're supposed to be having a serious conversation and I cannot hear it.
Actually, yeah, that is one other thing that we can talk about, which is the fact that if there was ever a movie that was like, oh, this my cousin's soundtrack and his last chance to, you know, get his thing off the ground, it was definitely this one, because it was like a rap, like somebody's SoundCloud rap song every other scene.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, y'all can't let a score play out? The hell? Like, just
like we can sit in silence for some moments. That is a thing we could do.
Silence. Like there is a lot of y'all could just be silent.
Like we could relax. It's okay.
It's okay. You know, the movie's not going anywhere. The movie ain't going nowhere. Y'all can be silent for 2 seconds. That'd be really appreciated if you did that. Really appreciated if y'all did that.
And again, this isn't like it's black, so we're shitting on it and we're like not giving it the grace that it deserves because whatever. But like really and truly, if you're watching this movie, there's like, I know I said that I could like, first of all, again, the acting was terrible. So when I said I could feel like the like connection, I could feel the like where they wanted me to feel connection, or I should have said. It's not like, oh yeah, because the dude who played Demon, I'm so sorry, he could not act.
Could not. No. Yeah, I was saying that. That's why I said, do you even like her for real? Like, I'm just like, his acting was just like, and again, he's getting clout, and we're not shitting on this actor at all. Allegedly, he's getting clout from this. Like, apparently he's becoming like a little heartthrob and shit, and I'm just like,
no.
I'm sorry, what? Again, my friend, as told by Destiny, literally turned the movie off. I think not even halfway through when he texted the line, when we saw that text, and he said, I can still taste you. Literally. And that's a credible source. As told by Destiny is a credible source.
I would have sent his ass to jail. I'm so sorry.
Sent to jail for multiple things, including, like, you know, mild pedophilia.
Ephebophilia.
Like, you know, yeah, definitely. This is under some type of, like, you know.
There are some laws. There's something it's about this that should be. No.
Yeah, no. The answer is stop it. The answer is, cinema. What about the story?
Story wise, I can always get behind like a forbidden love kind of thing if it's done well. but this wasn't done well. So, like, story-wise, I'll say plot-wise, it was fine. It wasn't spectacular by any means.
So, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give, like, the story?
Oh, God. This is purely plot-wise. I'll give it a 4. Because, again, for me, a Romeo and Juliet cannot exist without the death. That's, again, where the tragedy comes from. That's where most of what we're supposed to be, like, oh, fuck. Like, at the end, you know, when we're supposed to be sitting, like, with our head in our hands, like, damn. Like, shit. That hurt me, you know? We're supposed to be getting that at the end when these two children are compelled to die, like pushed to kill themselves in a situation where they did not have to do that, right? And again, this movie, not only did it not have any of that, it didn't have that tension, because at every chance we see Angel literally choosing Demon. So there wouldn't have been an opportunity for them to be like, oh, they died, oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, there wouldn't be a moment like that.
Yeah, so I found the actual, like, the rating for Filmway, how they do it. So there's originality and creativity, direction, writing, cinematography, performances, production value, editing, sound and music, and lighting.
Girl, that's like too many things for me to compute. So the lighting was ass. That movie was dark as hell the entire time. Looked like it was being lit by a flashlight on someone's phone. The audio sucked because we couldn't hear half of the movie.
To be fair, I heard like majority of the shit. I'm just kind of like, you know, it is a little like wash and muffle. I'll give that like maybe like a 5. Maybe a 5 for that, because maybe it's because it's coming from like you're watching it with me from Discord. So maybe
there was some distortion.
Yeah, editing, a lot of like
jump cuts.
Not even that. Like, it's a lot of, like, wipes. It has the editing of, like, a life, like it's a TV movie. I've noticed that with a couple of other films that we've watched so far, where they're editing it like it's a TV movie. Where, like, they'll have, like, you know, like, the dissolve that says, like, you know, a commercial's gonna come up. Which, you know, rightfully so, it's Tubi, but I have ad blocker on my Tubi, on my account. So, yeah, I've kind of, like, I just noticed that. And this one was kind of, like, you know, there's not too much going on with the editing that's really, like, you know, wowing me. It's just kind of, like, you know, next scene, whatever. You are giving performances like what, 4 out of 5?
I'm giving performances because like there were some people who were like doing better jobs, right? Like the best friend, the girl best friend, when she was like, "Girl, please stop with this man." She was actually like doing a little something, right? Yeah. But the titular dude, the main dude, alone deserves a 0. Like, I can't even give him a 1.
Yeah.
So I'll go right down the middle and give it like a 3.
Okay.
For performance. Direction. I think it gave like, oh, we just read the script. We did this in one take, and they recorded it and said, okay, yeah, that was good. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So direction wasn't that great, so I'll give that one a 2. Hold on, let me do the math here. Let me get my calculator out.
I mean, it does do that when you on the website, which I'm not saying that this is on a website or anything like that, but it does have like a thing where like it gives you that, and once you do all your scores, it gives you the average of what you would give this movie.
Yeah.
Depending on all your scores.
Okay, so start from the beginning. Start from the beginning.
Originality and creativity. Creativity.
It's a spoof of a already done story, and it wasn't even done well. So that's like a 1.
It's not even a spoof. It's more like just like, because a spoof would mean y'all doing something funny with it, and I didn't chuckle not once.
Well, that's true. It's like a parody, like a retelling.
Yeah, it's more of like it's trying to be like again. She literally said it's. She literally called it her ghetto fairy tale, a ghetto retelling, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
no. I'll give that a 2 for originality.
yeah, and creativity.
Oh, that's a
There's
different
nothing really.
category?
No, it's like it says originality / creativity.
Okay, well, the whole Romeo and Juliet with gangs thing has already been done. Hell, you could even say, like, The Outsiders is a Romeo and Juliet story with gangs. It's not a Romeo and Juliet story, but, like, you could even think that the romance between Sherry Valance and Ponyboy is Romeo and Juliet-esque because they're quite literally on opposite sides of two very distinct gangs, right?
I
Like,
know none of these niggas you saying. I know none of
you've
these.
never seen The Outsiders? You never read that shit?
No.
We read it in
No.
school. Girl, that's crazy.
Child.
You need to
I
watch it.
graduated in 2015.
You need to watch it.
Okay. Direction.
Direction was ass. I'll give you another 1.
Yeah. Writing.
Right?
That's not good. For the dialogue that I did here, I'm like, no. Some of it's not even making a lick of sense.
I'll give out a 3.
Okay. Cinematography.
Cinematography looked like it was shot on an iPhone, so 1.
Performances, we already did that.
That was what, a 3? Yeah.
You said a 3 or a 4, I believe.
Yeah.
Production value. Not much. I mean, like, the shots of Atlanta are fine. But
Like,
again, it doesn't
yeah.
get used to do that many, like, good overhead shots or shots with a drone. But overall, like, the locations, not really doing much. I will say this. I just kind of learned this. You ever notice in a lot of movies while, like, every time they go into somebody's house, it's always kind of, like, a little messy. It's because they're trying to, like, it's easier to kind of link up shots and do shots better and do better at, like, knowing where you're supposed to put your camera and everything. That's why you see a lot of movies, particularly, like, white people movies where, like, their house is, like, very, very, like, messy or there's stuff around or it's cluttered. So it's better, like, to do that. Here, like, even, like, coming from the first shot when we're at Angel's house and whatnot, it's kind of bland and there's not really nothing to work with. Like, a lot of wide shots that just don't need to be there. A lot of just, like it's just nothing there. Very lackluster production.
It looked like you were filming this in someone else's house that you were renting.
Yeah, very much. It's giving Airbnb. Plus, like, the other locations are not. The only one I can kind of say is when we get to Romeo's dad's house. That's kind of, like, semi-interesting.
Because it looks like someone actually lives there.
Yeah. And then on top of that, and I guess kind of like Romeo's crib, wherever that was. I don't know where that was, but just... Yeah, it's not... There's not much for production value here. Editing, like I said, nothing great, but nothing grand either. It's just kind of like...
That one I'll give a 4. The editing, because it was, like, very middle of the line for me.
Mm-hmm. Sound and music, there's not really a score too much here.
It was just someone's mixtape. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of, like, or just someone's mixtape, or just, like, a lot of just, like, songs. Which the songs in R&B is not that bad. Like, some of the little R&B ones are not that bad. Like, it does feel like, a Timu Janina Aiko, but still, So I give it, like, maybe a 3.
Yeah.
And then lighting.
Looked like it was shot on someone's iPhone.
I mean, yeah, true. But even then, I'm not gonna, you do what you gotta do, because lighting is expensive. But also too, there's not much, like, flattering lights to work with.
It was dark, yeah.
Yeah, but also too, like, just for the scenes that, like, you have them, like, together, I'm like, there's not much here. Like, there's not, like, I'm supposed to be able to, like, look at them and be like, wow, that looks, like, really good on their face and whatnot. Or, like, I really like, this shot right here. And I'm just like, yeah, there's not. No. So what do you got to average all of it out?
Girl, hold on. Back away.
You can do math better than me. That's why I'm not doing it.
Oh, girl, my average is a 2.222222222.
So 2.2 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the best score we can give it. Yeah, 2.2 out of 10. I am gonna write these down so next time we can actually, use them to help us out and whatnot. But just, yeah, I don't like it, and I would not watch if I would not really watch this again because.
Okay, I think I did this last time when we were talking about Wicked. The changes I would make for this story. Number one, I'm making them around the same age. I'm making them closer in age because I feel like it would add to like the whole doing this for survival thing. You know what I mean? Yep. On his end, I would add that storyline. I would make it so if he was, and this is just me talking story wise, not like directorially, unlike Wicked. Story wise, I would add some remorse on his end. Maybe he drinks, maybe he smokes to like not fully, but like to kind of forget the terrible shit that he's been forced to do at this young age, right? I would I would add some of that. I would make Angel have a fucking backbone. Like, this guy's in a gang. Like, he's kind of cute. He seems, like a little different than these other guys, right? I would give her some, like, she would still be naive. I feel like that is another thing that you could have played with. They're both the same age, but because he was forced into these situations, he's a lot less naive than she is. Maybe he's a little bit more nihilistic. Maybe he's a little bit more pessimistic, but he's not he's not stupid. She's not stupid. They're just naive because they have different life experiences. And in making her naive, I would make her actually like the good girl that she's supposed to be in this damn story. I would make her smart. She's a straight A student, and maybe her grades kind of start slipping because she's hanging out with this boy. Maybe her dad, that's why her dad's like, yeah, no, not only is he in a gang, he's also fucking with you and ruining your life, messing with you. So that's a no, right? Maybe add to
even hell, what I would do, keep it to where maybe again, keep it to where they're both on some type of gang side, but also to make it to where she's kind of helping him for the better in a way. Mm-hmm. We actually kind of see how do it to it. Again, I like what they were doing where she was reading to him and whatnot, which we don't coddle ignorance here, but hey, make it work for the movie. Just make it to where maybe again, kind of like in Jason's lyric where she's showing him stuff that he ain't never seen before and whatnot. That way you kind of feel it a little bit more, you know what I mean?
Right.
And again, maybe he wants to do better. Again, her being around him is something to where hey, he wants to do better. And maybe okay, here's a thought that we could work with. Maybe this Juliet is a little bit of a crybaby and a little bit, kind of a pussy and whatnot. Maybe he teaches her to be a little bit more tougher, just a tad.
Teach her how to stand her ground. Yeah. And
stand on, or how to talk shit, mm-hmm. something.
And I'm adding it because it would add to the tragedy. So this depends on whether or not we want it to be a happy black love story or a tragic black love story.
Well, you see here,
because that'll determine on whether or not I want that nigga dies.
As someone who has written a tragic play, I like to see people suffer.
Yeah.
I like the pain. I like twisting the knife a little bit and being no one is allowed to be happy ever unless I actually wanted to even say so. So I'm down for either both of them to die or either one of them or one of them.
No, what I think would be more tragic is if he were we go more the West Side Story arc, and maybe they're gonna leave. Maybe she's gonna go to college out of state, so her father, her family's gang, isn't holding her back, right? That's what she's been studying for. That's what she's been trying to study it so she can get out of here, right? So she doesn't have to have this looming shadow over her, right? And she was gonna take him with him, so he was gonna leave his gang, and he was almost out. You know what I mean? He was almost free and able to survive on his own. Like, maybe she gets him a job. Maybe, like, he starts making his own money legally and not through the gang. Maybe he's not forced into the position where he has to fight to survive, right? And just as they're about to make their escape, something happens and he gets shot. And he dies.
I'm down for that. Hell, and also too, this was something I had on my mind. Was the fact that Romeo and Juliet. I think there were like versions that always do the word like, well, she's rich and he's poor, or he's rich and she's poor. I'm like, in the original text, they're both nobles.
Yeah. So like, if one of them's gonna be poor, I do both of them poor, but she's got a full ride scholarship.
Yeah, or just like have them both be rich. That'd be interesting to see and actually focus on why the family hates each other. Hell, if you wanted to make this comedy wise, make the family hate each other over a stupid ass thing, a stupid rich people thing. That's like
you purchased the last yacht I wanted,
or like, and again, if Nina Stacks just so happens to be watching this is just suggestions, babe. We're just giving you suggestions, okay? You can take this however you want. We're giving this to you for free 99, for the free, okay?
I'm not giving shit for free. You are paying me for my idea. I'm getting. Actually, do I want a writing credit?
Not too hard to think about it.
I'm contemplating. I'm like, do I want my name associated with this?
Listen, it's like what one of our other friends in this Discord has said. If I'm in one of these Tubi movies, that means I got a check.
That's what I said.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I'm making a bag, okay? If I'm involved in any of these,
you made a bag.
Money.
You made a bag. So you heard her, Nina. Pay me and her for my services. They don't call me the fairy godmother or writing for nothing. The screenwriter fairy godmother for nothing.
And I'm Canadian, so what you could send me is gonna be like less than what I would actually get.
Every episode you just drop more lore where I learn so much about you. In hindsight, I should know more about my co-host.
Genuinely.
But we doing this shit off the cuff. So it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But yeah. I also would probably add the fact of giving Romeo some more friends that are more his age.
Yeah.
Work around. Definitely would do that. Because Angel had that, and I'm like, how come he doesn't actually have a friend that's actually his age? But yeah, I definitely there are many ways you could have fixed this, babe. You could have fixed it, and yeah. I'm
adding Tybalt, by the way. Like, I would add someone to be that.
Yeah, I mean, it was her cousin Tyrese, but even then, I'm like, you're not enough of a hater for me.
No, because I need him to be like, really? You could have chose anybody. You could have chose anyone, and you chose this busted ass, broke ass, ugly ass, wrinkly ass, stupid ass. Like, I needed that, because that, first of all, that would have added so much comedy to this. Because I feel like all of the things that were like supposed to be like, oh, that's kind of funny, wasn't actually funny. It was just like there, and it felt awkward, right? So like, if you got someone to just be pure hater energy on this man, it would have ate.
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar levels of hate. Like, just levels of hate. I would have loved it. Hell, it would have been hilarious if this man added a diss track. Like, legitimately, if you want to, go full on, hood, gangster type shit, let him write a fucking diss track about him. Be like, what the fuck? And have it be both delivering to both Romeo, but also Mercutio. Oh, that'd be hilarious.
That would eat.
That would eat so hard. And then I would sit there and just be like, this man is actually insane. Sir, you need help. It's never that serious to do this much hateration in a dancery. It's never that serious. That's why I would like to commission myself to play either Tybalt or Mercutio in somebody's version of Romeo and Juliet. I will draw on my own mustache. And
you know who else could have been? The hater, the best friend. Angel's best friend. I still don't remember her name.
Yeah.
She could have also been like, ooh, girl, your standards, ew.
I mean, yeah, but
Ooh.
I don't know if I fuck with that because that's a trend in a lot of Tubi movies that also believes the fact that women can't just yeah, weird. But yeah, I would like to personally, let me wear the mustache. But yeah, let me wear the mustache one time. But yeah, that's like a running trope in a lot of like Tubi movies where it's the whole thing that women can't be friends with each other. And I'm like, yeah, no, let's not.
No, they could be friends. They could be amazing. They could be best friends. But when this dude comes in and it's like, is he really like I'm sorry, babe. I love you. But this man really don't look like he ain't shit. And then
So basically keep on character that it was.
yeah. But like I need her to roast his ass. Like he walks into a place and she's like, ugh. It smelled like desperation. It smelled like desperation and unwashed ass in here. Oh fuck, it's you. Crazy. Like I need that. If you're gonna add it, freaking add it. It's funny.
True. Yeah. She probably needed to roast him a couple times, but yeah. And then just like we also need to do like a yeah, there's a lot we could have done to this movie, make it different, just change it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tagging that, by the way. If anyone ever uses it smells like desperation and unwashed ass, I demand a check. I demand a check.
We'll see you in a bit, okay?
Bye, mommy.
I'm opening this so Mandy knows you're here.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That was my mom. Sorry.
Yeah, give her. It's okay. Cool. But yeah, give her the check. The check needs to be deserved. Give her the check. I don't know who gonna give it to you and who gonna convert it from USD to whatever y'all got over there in Canada.
I think it's your dollar is 70 cents for us.
I see. Yeah. I was a few weeks years old when I found out that certain laundromats don't take Canadian quarters.
I was today years old when I learned that. Crazy.
But yeah, overall, Angel and Demon, overall, 2.2 out of 10. Didn't like it. Could do so much better. Nina, we're mildly rooting for you. And again, I gotta watch maybe some of your other stuff. Because this is your 9th film? 9th? So, yeah.
9th? Oh, no.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I said that earlier. This is her 9th film on Tubi.
It took me a second. I was like, oh, wait, what? No, that's crazy.
Yeah, I did research before this episode, before we started recording and everything. And I was like, yeah, let me kind of do some research. And I was like, and mostly I looked through her Facebook page and whatnot. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, interesting, interessante. And I hate also too that she was saying ghetto fairy tales, and I'm like,
ew.
No, because that's, first of all, that's my expertise. Now I'm saying the word ghetto, but I'm saying doing black fairy tales is my expertise, darling. Okay? And I did that shit with precision. Again, go check out Awaken, which is also on my YouTube page. Y'all should go check that out, after this podcast. After you listen to this podcast, do one for the one time. Give it a like, give it a comment. Give it, subscribe type shit,
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm so sorry. Mac does it. Don't sue me. I was just joking.
Now with what money he gonna sue you with?
Mac does it?
With what money that man gonna sue you with?
He's in California. My man moves all the time.
He was born in California.
Yeah, but he moves all the time. He could afford to move. In California.
That man literally said that he's constantly broke. When he was supposed to go on tour again, and before he had to cancel it, he was only going on a few select shows.
Maybe that's just because he don't like people. I was just gonna say, maybe he just don't like nobody.
And I'm not gonna say that either because I love Mac does it. I have your merch before you discontinued that shit. I have your merch, Mac. I've met you before. I've met you and Mike. Don't be jealous.
I am jealous. But this is not a hate thing for anybody involved. When I bring somebody up, please know I probably like them unless stated otherwise. Like, unless we someday start a podcast or like start talking about like Taylor Swift on our podcast, please note that if I'm bringing somebody up, chances are I do in fact like them, unless stated otherwise.
Why the hell would we talk about Taylor Swift on this podcast?
Talk about the racism, talk about her lack of talent, talk about the fact that she can't write for shit, talk about the fact that she thinks she's hot shit when she's cold diarrhea, talk about the fact that she's looking a little worse for wear because she got freaking Botox in her eyebrow and now it looks like she's constantly like sneering at people. Talk about the fact that she thinks that she's the best musician to ever grace the freaking planet. Talk about how people somehow believe that she is a better vocalist than Celine fucking Dion. Talk about how people believe that she is more talented, more hardworking, more dedicated to the craft than fucking Beyonce. Like, we could talk about a bunch of oh god.
I mean, yeah, we could, but like, why do that when like people could do it for us?
White people aren't doing it is the problem.
I didn't say white people. I said other black women. Because listen, look. Unfortunately, I have grown up with Taylor Swift. That bitch was doing shit back when I was in middle school. This bitch has been around for God knows too long. Has made songs that even some Taylor Swift fans don't even know exist, that I know exist. Like Hey Steven, which is one of my faves, but I also don't care for that woman enough. She doesn't exist to me in my mind. Like I said, much like when we started this, when I said Tyler Perry just doesn't exist in me. He exists in a vapor that doesn't exist in my brain. Like literally every time my mom watches Sisters, every time I literally like just go out the room.
That's fair.
And then she'll be like, well, why do you not want to watch? I said, I don't like this show. I don't like Tyler Perry. What are you not understanding? And then you get mad at me when I'm like, well, how come you don't want to watch Power? And it's like, that's just not my cup of tea. I'm not really I'm not a gangster girly. I'm not a vampire girly, except for Sinners. Yeah, I'm literally somewhat a girl's girl and also like a deep cut girly. I like stuff that nobody has been thinking about for years. Like one day we're gonna do an episode where we're gonna pay a nerd to explain Code Lyoko and Kingdom Hearts to me.
Oh no.
I know what they are. I've watched Code Lyoko when I was a kid. I just never understood it. And I never played Kingdom Hearts, but I know I kinda know storyline, but I don't understand it.
We need to write a list of the episode ideas because we have Mean Girls, we have that. I don't even know how to describe that one. We have
what that do we have? Tell it for the viewers.
You inviting a nerd to teach you about games that I don't even know about.
Okay, first of all, Code Lyoko is not a game; it's a TV show.
Well, goes to show how much I know about that. So, proving my point.
If you watched Totally Spies in the early 2000s, that was the show that came on after it.
I only watched Totally Spies. I watched Totally Spies, and when Totally Spies was done, I turned that shit off.
The youth don't know these days.
The youth does know. I love Totally Spies. I just didn't watch the shit after it. I only wanted to watch Totally Spies.
Listen, I had to open up my mind view. I had to open up my mind view and understand what was coming from. We're cutting half of this. You're doing the editing work on this one because we fucked up a couple times. But I wanted to know, and I was kind of curious. The art style looked kind of similar in a way, and I was like, okay, I don't understand this though. I'm very confused. We need to do a whole episode talking about, like, obscure black TV shows.
Oh, my God. Literally all of them?
Because not all of them, because, there's people that know, Martin, Girlfriends, Living Single, all those and everything. But, like, what do you niggas know about the Little Romeo TV show? What do you know about that?
I hear my dog walk. Oh no. Mandy, go away.
What do you know about the TV show with LL Cool J as the star?
And we're not talking about lip sync battle?
No, we're not talking about lip sync battle.
I was joking.
Literally, he did have a TV show called In the House that he was a part of. To the point where I went to my mom and had to remind her. She was like, he did have his own sitcom. The Tracy Morgan Show, which I still stand by that I don't like Tracy Morgan as a comedian and never thought he was funny.
Mm-mm.
I'ma keep saying that shit because I just don't. I'm so sorry to anybody that finds this comedy funny. I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't understand it. So what else the TV show just... Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the podcast that ain't got a name yet. Its name is pending. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And also comment down below what you guys want us to talk about next. We have a couple things in the works for us. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Happy holidays, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Boxing Day, whatever the hell you celebrate. Make sure it's a good one. whatever else you celebrate. We love you over here. And thanks again for tuning in. But now we got to tune out.
Bye.
Bye.